We are about to face the worst recession of our lifetime. This recession is going to be far worse than the recession of 1970s that lasted over 10 years. And unlike 2008, in this recession, we are not going to see massive housing collapse so that you can go and buy yourself a very cheap house. This recession is going to be so bad that prices will continue rising while your income is going to keep falling down. So each year, the quality of your life is going to deteriorate. Why? Because Iran just realized that Donald Trump is bluffing and now they are implementing anti-Trump strategy. When Donald Trump started this war, he had a specific objective, but Iran has prepared for it. And it seems like Iran is going to push the US economy into the worst crisis since 1970s. Trump's strategy when he started this war against Iran was very simple, that Trump doesn't actually care about Iran's nuclear weapons. You know, they tell you that Iran should not have nuclear weapons, and Iran has been 2 weeks away from developing a nuclear weapons since 1970s or 80s. If Iran wants to build a nuclear weapon, they can literally do it in less than 2 weeks. If North Koreans could build a nuclear weapon, Iranians certainly can do that. Iran has culture, they have scientists, they have education, they have literally everything they want to actually build a nuclear weapon. But the reason they did not do that is because there is a very tiny small group of countries that have nuclear weapons and they want to have a monopoly on that nuclear weapons, such as Russia, China, the United States. So in order to keep close allies such as China and Russia, Iran doesn't want to actually build nuclear weapons. But if they want to, they can actually do that, but they're not going to do that. Well, if Iran was not building nuclear weapons, then why did the United States actually started this war? And that's because the major objective of the United States is to reshape the oil market to protect the petrodollar. Petrodollar has been the main reason why the dollar is the global reserve currency since 1970s. And we know that petrodollar is facing a very serious challenge. Gulf countries, which have been the source of petrodollar, have already been selling their oil in yuan and other currencies. Iran has been under the US sanctions, so they have been selling their oil in yuan for a very long time ago. Russia, that has been under the sanctions since 2022, also has been selling their oil in yuan and other currencies. So we want to restructure the entire global oil market so that the rest of the world will depend on the United States for oil. And if you want to buy oil from the United States or the oil that is controlled by the United States, obviously you're going to pay in US dollars, and that will keep the US dollar as the global reserve currency. That's why the United States of America today is the world's largest oil manufacturer. But that's not enough. That's why the United States took over Venezuela. So the United States, since 2022, reshaped the oil market in the European countries. Now European countries, instead of entirely depending on the Russian energy, are actually buying oil and gas from the United States. And now it is time to do the exact same thing with the Asian countries. Asian countries are the largest buyer of oil and gas from the Middle East. But when we start this war against Iran, it means that no oil is getting out of the Middle East. So countries such as China, Japan, Philippines, and Vietnam, all of them are now standing in line in order to buy oil and gas from the United States of America. Where else are they going to get that? But here's the problem. In order to reshape the market, it is not going to be easy. The United States will have to spend billions of dollars to build refineries. The United States will have to spend tens of billions of dollars to rebuild the infrastructure in Venezuela. But most importantly, it is going to take time. So Donald Trump has started this war in order to keep the Middle Eastern oil in the Middle East, to force the Middle Eastern countries to come closer to the United States of America. And here's the beauty of this strategy. The strategy was simple. We are going to keep the blockade. Either Iran is going to surrender and Iran is going to sign a deal that is much more favorable to the United States, so that will keep the petrodollar, or Iran is not going to sign a deal, but we are going to keep this blockade and negotiate with Iran until we are going to restructure the entire global market. So whatever happens, the United States of America is the winner in this war. That's why the moment you see that oil prices are shooting to the roof, you have Donald Trump tweeting that they're negotiating with Iran, and then oil prices come down. And then again, there is some kind of a trouble because the United States of America is not actually willing to negotiate with Iran in good faith, because the United States of America doesn't actually want Iran. It doesn't need Iran. It wants to restructure the entire global oil market, which is why now Iran realized that strategy. And Iran is like, we're not going to play this game against you. They started negotiating with Donald Trump, but now there is no more negotiations. The United States of America said that there are going to be negotiations on the 22nd of April, but guess what? The Iranians did not show up. Why? Because they realized that Donald Trump is actually playing, and the United States of America is simply trying to buy time to renegotiate or to reshape the entire global oil market. Iran's strategy was simple. We are going to prove to the rest of the world that Donald Trump is not negotiating in good faith, which is why we first started negotiating, now no more negotiations, and let the rest of the world pressure Donald Trump. So, as oil prices keep rising to over $100, $120, and there is going to be a huge shortage of oil in the market, what is going to happen? Countries such as China, Japan, Philippines, and the rest of the world will start pressuring the United States. Listen, the US, we don't have any oil or whatsoever. You gotta do something. And that pressure might actually force the United States of America to withdraw, or let the Gulf countries to pressure Trump. The Gulf countries are some of the most important allies of the United States and have been the source of petrodollar for many, many decades. And they're investing in the United States not just hundreds of billions of dollars, but literally they have invested trillions of dollars in the United States of America. So the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar will be pressuring Donald Trump to somehow, one way or another, stop this war. And the midterm elections are also coming. We know that in a few months, the United States is about to face midterm elections. And if Donald Trump is essentially going to lose the House and the Senate, that is going to make his presidency very, very difficult. The Democrats might try to impeach Donald Trump, or basically Donald Trump will simply have a lot less power than he had in the past. And that means that the Strait of Hormuz is not going to open anytime soon. And that means that in 3 months from now, if the strait continues to be closed, it is going to create the biggest crash in the history of the global economy since 1945. First of all, there is going to be a global recession. As oil prices continue rising and there is going to be a huge shortage of oil in the market, suddenly the global economy is going to stop. And a lot of people don't realize the importance of oil in the global economy. Let me just tell you that the entire global economy depends on the global shipping. So if you're going to Tesco, if you're going to Costco, if you're going to Walmart, that thing that is there depends on a very complicated supply chain. When oil prices rise, suddenly the ships that are delivering them from one place into another is no longer for them to be profitable to do this business. So they will stop this business. The moment that ship actually reaches, for example, the shores of your country, let's say the US, then there are trucks that are going to take this stuff and will distribute them across the United States. So if you think that overnight we can turn all of these ships electric, we can turn all of these trucks electric, then you're insane. You have no idea how dependent the global economy is on oil. That's why when all of that is going to slow down, the probability of a recession rises literally to over 100%. Global manufacturing is going to stop. Factories, we have a lot of solar energy, we have a lot of renewable energy, but you have to be insane to think that most factories can survive without oil. Oil is literally the engine that drives the factory. Take China. China is the world's largest factory and they produce absolutely everything. But for that factory to work, you need a lot of coal and you need a lot of oil. So if oil prices suddenly rise so high, the cost of manufacturing is going to rise, and for them to make a profit will not be possible. So the factory is going to close down. When you have an online business, you can have a margins of 40%, 50%. But when you have a factory, your margins are probably 2 to 3%. So when oil prices triple, suddenly your factory is making a loss. How long can you possibly keep these losses? Of course, you are going to shut down. And imagine if that is suddenly going to happen to thousands of factories across the globe. Recession is guaranteed for China as well. Massive inflation is coming. Factories are shutting down. The global shipping is stopping. Suddenly, there are a lot less things in the shores. There is a lot of less things in the groceries. There are a lot of less cars in the market. So if there is a shortage of everything in the market, what happens? Prices instantly rise. And that's what we call massive inflation. There is also going to be food scarcity, and it's coming for a fact. How do you make food? You usually need fertilizers in order to grow food. And most fertilizers are actually made from natural gas, LNG. And most of them are being made by the Gulf countries. Of course, the market can restructure and other nations can do that, but you still have to build the infrastructure, and that infrastructure is not built yet. So if that LNG is not going to cross the Strait of Hormuz, there are going to be famines across the globe. The United States is not going to experience that. European countries are not going to experience that, but there are many nations across the globe, in Africa especially, that are barely putting food on the table, and if the price of food is going to rise, it is going to devastate them. Gulf countries will entirely collapse. A lot of people don't understand that these Gulf countries that are the source of petrodollar, they are deserts. There is literally absolutely nothing there. Every single thing that is in that country is imported from the other part of the world. First of all, because they're not selling oil, since the oil cannot possibly cross the Strait of Hormuz, they're not making money. But of course, they still have money. But that also means that they need to import stuff from other countries in order for their economies to be possible. So if you can't import anything to your country and there is nothing in your country, what do you think is going to happen to your country? It is going to collapse. Some people imagine that, well, of course, we can actually still send them with planes. But if you fly everything to your country, prices are going to be so insanely expensive that the average person will not possibly be able to live in these countries. Suddenly, there is going to be a huge exodus of people out of these nations, and their economies are going to collapse. Asian countries are going to collapse. Look at Japan. Japan imports 95% of its energy from the Middle East. Now, if there is no energy that is coming to Japan, if there is no oil coming to Japan, what is going to happen to Japan? If there is no oil in Japan, Toyota factories, Mitsubishi factories, the buses industries, everything will simply stop. That's what I call an economic collapse. The United States might put an export restrictions. So because now a lot of countries cannot possibly buy oil from the Middle East, these tankers are actually coming to the United States in order to buy oil from the United States. Now, think for a moment, what is happening in the US? Now, the oil that is being manufactured or produced in the United States is sold within the United States. But now we have other companies are coming, or other countries are competing for the exact same oil in the United States. So when too many dollars are chasing the exact same amount of oil, oil prices instantly rise. So if oil prices rise much faster, for example, in the US than they anticipated because there is a shortage of oil, the United States of America, for a national security threat, might actually put restrictions on export. And that means that these countries cannot buy as much oil as they need. So it's either the US is going to collapse or these countries are going to collapse. And I'm not talking about something that could happen 50 years from now. This is something that is going to happen literally 3 to 6 months from now. These countries have already depleted more than half of their strategic oil reserves. Here's the question. Will the world pressure Trump or Iran? So here are two solutions. China can basically force Iran into a really bad deal. China can say to Iran, listen, if you don't make a good deal, if you don't make a deal with the United States of America, we will no longer support you. Under the pressure of China, Iran might actually sign a deal that is not favorable for Iran. But the second option that could happen is that the world is going to pressure Donald Trump. GCC countries might actually ask for China to help them. GCC countries, which are Saudi Arabia, the UAE, now they are under embargo. They might ask China to come and help them. Tell me another country that can stand up to the United States today. There isn't a single country. If you think it's Russia, they can't do that. They don't have a navy to send that navy. But China has a navy. So China can actually come to help GCC countries to resolve the conflict. And that is going to put a lot of pressure on the United States of America, because the United States have created this economic disaster in that part of the world, and China might be the only country that can actually push away the United States of America. Countries will ignore the United States sanctions and start making deals with Iran and Russia. European countries or Japan or South Korea might actually make a deal directly with Iran, that Iran, please let our ships cross the Strait of Hormuz and we will completely ignore the American sanctions. Or they might just actually go to Russia and just start buying oil from Russia. Even if the United States is going to sanction Russia, who cares? Because if you don't have oil, you don't have an economy. So if this second option is going to actually happen, the United States will be left with no other option but to actually start a ground invasion. When the US realizes that the world is running out of oil and they're becoming so desperate that they are left with no other option but to turn against the United States, of course, US does not want that. The United States wants to control the global world. The United States wants to control the global economy. The United States will be forced to start a ground invasion in Iran. Because if you can do that, suddenly you will be the one who is controlling the Strait of Hormuz. And the world will be so dependent on you that nobody is going to sell oil except in the US dollars. And that will give the United States more time to restructure the entire global oil market, and the world will still continue buying and selling oil and gas exclusively in the US dollar, and that will keep the US dollar as the global reserve currency. This is what we're about to witness most likely in a few months from now, unless there is going to be a solution to this war between the United States of America and Iran. So if you have not prepared yourself financially, you are looking into the worst recession of your life. If you want a step-by-step strategy to actually prepare yourself financially, you can literally jump with my team on one-on-one call that will help you to actually build a financial strategy that is going to help you, that will tell you which assets exactly you should be buying in order to win in this economy. So the first 50 people who will sign up using the link in the description of this video will get one-on-one call, free consultation with my team, where my team will help you to build a personalized financial strategy for you. The link is in the description of this video.